What's up everybody, this is Austin. Today I'm going to cover the Teep, the Muay Thai Push Kick. The Teep is one of the most effective tools to have in your bag for both offense and defense, and best of all, it works for sport and self-defense application. A good thing about the Teep is that it's fairly easy to get good at quickly, and that's what we're going to cover today. I'm going to teach you step by step how to use this technique at a beginner level. Make sure you stick around until the end because I'm going to teach you some drills that you'll want to use for ongoing practice in order to become a master of this technique. All right, let's get to it. The Teep, like many other techniques, has a lot of different targets and variations, but for now we're going to cover the most basic and fundamental version. And for those of you who like to skip the basics and go straight to the fancy stuff, I want to remind you that teachers teach the basics because they are the most consistently effective versions of the techniques, and they help to set the foundation for you to build upon later. So let's cover that. The Teep can be thrown with either the lead leg or the rear leg. The lead leg, more often than not, is going to be used for defensive purposes to keep proper range and to disrupt the timing of your opponent. So let's do that one first. For the lead leg Teep, I want you to think about making contact with the ball of your foot, toes curled back so they're safely out of the way, and I want you to aim for center mass just below the belly button of your opponent. Think about stabbing them in the bladder, through their bladder to their spine. That's what we're going for here. So first we're going to start with our basic Muay Thai marching rhythm. That's hands up, chin tucked, and I'm rocking back and forth, weights shifting left to right. Now I'm going to time this rock to make the movement sneaky, and as my weight shifts back, I'm going to lift this knee up high, and I'm going to extend my foot forward, and I'm going to push my hip behind the foot while blocking and keeping my range with the upper body. One more time. Weight shifts back, knee comes up, foot goes straight to the target, and my hip is driving behind it, and it retracts in that same line of fire. Now you'll notice I'm doing something specific with my hands. If I'm kicking with this lead foot, I'm going to be swinging this left arm down, and I'm going to be covering with this right side. I'm going to be covering my temple, covering my jawline, and I'm going to keep this elbow tucked into the ribs. I want my chin tucked. If I tuck my chin too much right now, it's going to muffle the mic, but I want you to just bear that in mind. Whenever you're doing this, exhale as you throw the kick. So I'm rocking, 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 rocking. Weight shifts back, knee up, foot and hip forward, blocking with the arm swing, and I want to set down on balance. The Teep is very important that your timing is correct, your balance is correct, and your precision is correct. Those are the three things you want to focus on. So remember, we're aiming center mass at the bladder. Slowly one more time. All right. Now you'll notice before my foot starts to come down back to my stance, I'm pushing my hip forward and I'm pulling my knee back to the body slightly. And this helps to preemptively get my foot out of someone's grip if they decide to catch it. If they decide to grab my foot and I hinge downward, it makes it easier for them to hang on to my heel. So what I do is I thrust in and I pull my knee back. So that way if they catch it, foot's already retracting. That makes it easy to get back to your stance. Now, any technique is not complete until you're on balance and ready to attack again. Rocking, weight back, knee up, arm swing this side, guarding this side, chin stays down, hip and foot thrust forward, leading with the ball of the foot towards the bladder, retract the foot, back on balance. When you're throwing this Teep, be very sure to not overextend and drop heavy on this foot. You want to maintain balance at all times. This base foot, toes are pointed somewhere between 45 and 90 degrees. The more I turn these toes out, the more ability I have to corkscrew my hip in and get longer reach. So 45 to 90 is that sweet spot. Generally, foot's going to stay flat on the ground for the sake of stability. just like that. This is a perfect tool to stop someone from getting in nice and close, keeps them at the range you want, and by hitting them in that bladder area, not only does it cause damage, but it tends to fold them inward slightly, which not only disrupts their balance, but it throws their mind elsewhere and gives you the opportunity to steal the rhythm. When you're throwing the teep with the rear leg, there's a few things that are similar and a few things that are different. First, the similar part. The thrusting of the foot and hip is going to be the same. Striking with the ball of the foot is going to be the same. The way I guard and keep my chin tucked is going to be the same. The different part is the lead up. So we've got this rocking rhythm. With the lead teep, all I did was shift my weight back and lift my knee. But the rear teep, it's a little bit slower, but it's more powerful. I'm going to use it generally more offensively as opposed to the lead teep. So while I'm rocking, I'm going to take a step forward and I'm going to step slightly offline, and I'm going to open these toes up to 45, the same way I would if I were throwing a knee, the same way I would if I were throwing a round kick, but this is just going to help to line up that rear leg with the target, and it opens up my hip so I can thrust through with power. So remember, I don't want to give away too much by making that step obvious. I want to time it with my rock so you stay nice and smooth, nice and smooth, nice and smooth. The step doesn't have to be much, it's just a little bit offline, and you're opening up that hip. As I do this, my weight is transferring forward onto this leg, knees high. Everything else is the same. I'm exhaling, I'm thrusting my hip, I'm thrusting the ball of the foot forward, and I want to retract my knee on the way back in to make sure that I don't get my foot caught. So one more time, facing the camera. Facing away. Now this teep can be thrown at that same bladder height that we were doing before, and this is a great way to stop someone and fold them, just like the lead teep. My preference with the rear teep is to go up a little bit higher and aim for their chest, right about here where you can see the Skyhook logo. The rear teep, because I'm covering distance with that step, I am approaching the opponent and I'm trying to use this to blast them backwards and to completely knock them off balance. If you can hit them higher up on the chest, they get really top heavy, and it tends to send them backward further than if you were to hit them center mass. And if you can time this, especially when they're on one leg, to block a kick, or you can hit it while they're throwing their own kick, they're gonna go flying. We see Sanchez do this all the time. So one more time, step by step. Step forward, opening this hip up slightly. Weight shifts, knee up, knee towards the target, leading with the ball of the foot. I'm gonna guard with the opposite hand, same side. It's going to swing down. This acts as a counterbalance, and in my mind I use it as a trigger. So I can go slowly, but when this arm swings, I think about pulling a trigger in my mind, and that's what adds the acceleration. So lead teep, weight back. Rear teep, step in. And you can use these two in conjunction beautifully. So imagine you've got an opponent rushing in, you shift your weight back to keep your range, you nail them in the bladder. That pauses them momentarily, and you can step down straight into your rear teep and knock them back. This is Sparta style. Beautiful combination there. So lead teep, bladder, step in, rear teep, higher up on the chest. Just like before, the technique is not complete until you're back on your stance. So make sure you're not stepping heavy. Make sure you're thrusting in, getting back to balance, back to stance. Hopefully better than I just did right there. Just like so. All right, I told you how to throw the teep and what they're used for. I mentioned that you want to make sure that your balance is correct, your precision is correct, and your timing is correct. I'm going to teach you first how to practice the balance. Now, I'm going to do this symmetrically. I'm going to work my left and right side the same way, and the reason for this is because sometimes your right leg works better and sometimes your left leg works better depending on the stance of the opponent. So if the opponent is orthodox, for example, a left teep is going to have a better time entering in through my guard, and it's going to hit more perpendicular to the shape of my body, and you're going to have an easier time knocking the opponent off balance without glancing off. On the other hand, if I had a southpaw opponent, now my right side teep is going to enter in at a better angle. So you want to make sure that you've got good left teeps and good right teeps, regardless of whether you're using them offensively or defensively. Just remember, this open side, target that. open side, target that. You're gonna have more success that way. So the first way you wanna learn Muay Thai Teep balance is with good old-fashioned marching drills. If you go to Thailand, you'll see the kids doing this up and down the mat. They'll have you do it as a warm-up. Most people don't like doing it because they think it's boring, but it's the best way to learn how far you can extend your teep without losing your balance. So pick an area. You can do it in place if you want, but it works better with movement. What I do is I step with my left foot, teep right. Step right, teep left. Step, step, step. Now notice, symmetrical work here. Step, 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 step. The idea here is you want to learn to reach out with your foot and your hip as far as possible and get the most range and the most power without losing your balance. So when you start doing this, you'll notice if you overextend, you're gonna fall heavy. If you fall heavy, you're vulnerable to a counter attack. On the opposite end of the spectrum, if I don't reach out very far, maybe my hip's not involved with the kick, you're not gonna get the proper range and the proper power. So you want to be able to extend, come down with balance. Extend, come down with balance. Extend, come down with balance. On left side and right side, you can aim bladder height, you can aim chest height, up to you. I would recommend doing both. Marching, very basic, very effective. Give it a try. All right, on to the next drill. We're gonna use a bag to help us learn the timing of our teep. This will also test our balance. We get a little bit of resistance. The way we're gonna do this is we're gonna give the bag a little bit of a swing, and then we're gonna try to stop it with our teep. So give it a push, and you time the range. Give it a push, time the range. Give it a push, time the range. What you'll notice here as a beginner, that if you wait too long, or if your balance is not good to begin with, you're gonna get knocked back slightly. Now, you might not go flying, but you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel that lack of balance. You're also gonna feel if you throw it too early and miss the bag, or even if you make contact with the bag, if your timing's off, you may lose balance because the bag is fading away from you. Same way that opponent will try to be moving to counter your teep. This is why it's so important to stay on balance no matter what the object is. So to start with, get a swing, stop the bag, get a swing, stop the bag. Now, once this gets a little bit easy, you're gonna do what we call bag juggling. So I'm gonna be doing essentially the same thing, but I'm gonna be switching, alternating left and right teeps, and I'm gonna do my best to hit the same spot over and over. So make a dent in the bag with the first teep and keep trying to hit that same spot. Now, while you're juggling the bag, make sure you hit the center of the bag, otherwise it's gonna spin. If I'm off center, you're gonna know it, because the bag is gonna move in a funny way. So what we want here, on balance, hold your ground, teep, 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 teep. Can't do this too much. You go to Thailand, they'll often have you cool down at the end of the workout with anywhere from 100 to 300 of these teeps on the bag. It's a great workout, helps you practice your distancing, your balance, and the precision to hit dead center on the bag with consistency. First, try stopping the bag, and then when you get better, juggle. Give that one a shot. All right, this next drill is a fun one, and it's the best one I've found for getting precision in your teeps. It requires a partner, and it requires a pack of tennis balls. The idea is you're gonna have your stance, and then you're gonna have your partner throw it towards you at center mass. And the idea here is to have your partner throw it at you roughly center mass. If it's too high, you're probably not gonna get a foot on it. If it's too low, you're probably gonna hit it like a soccer ball. I'm trying to hit it with the bottom of my foot, and I'm trying to push it back towards the thrower which is similar to the motion of a push kick. I haven't done this for a couple years. Let's give it a shot and see how we do. Oh, and by the way, if you miss or you kick it wild and break the TV or anything like that, make sure that you blame the thrower. That's a crucial step in this process. All right, let's try it. Clip that one. All right, not bad, causing chaos. If you're gonna do this, be smarter than me and do it outdoors. All right, y'all, thanks for sticking around until this point. I hope you got something out of this video. Remember, you can never cover the basics too much. If you are new to striking or Muay Thai, and you would like me to cover any specific techniques like this, let me know down in the comments and I'd be happy to create a video tailored to whatever it is you need to learn about, right? Now, if you want a basic idea of Muay Thai weapons, a place to get started, there's a video up top. You can check that out. That's not a bad place to start. If you are already doing some Muay Thai and you've got the basic idea and you want to step your game up a little bit, you can check out this other video I did on how to become the most explosive fighter you can possibly be. This will transfer across the board, regardless of which martial arts style you do. And the sooner you get started on creating routines and habits like this, the better you're gonna be in the long run. So give it a look and let me know what you think. All right, y'all, thanks for your time.